Well, good morning, Bakersfield, surrounding communities, everybody watching online on YouTube and Twitch. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. I am Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. It has been an incredible weekend of sports that we cannot wait to go down. Sparky, good morning.
Good morning.
Let them know what they're in for.
Oh, we're going to get into week one of some college football. We'll talk a little NFL. We'll talk a little baseball. We'll talk about our fantasy drafts. On top of that, we'll have our boy 24KG joining us at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, recapping Clash in Paris, Monday Night Raw, which was Monday Morning Raw. And for all of our listeners, we've got tickets to Bakersfield BrunchFest all week coming up Saturday, October 11th at the Kern County Fairgrounds from 11 to 3.
BrunchFest or Village Fest?
BrunchFest.
BrunchFest. Oh, I apologize. I put on the social medias that it was Village Fest.
We got BrunchFest tickets again, and this is the go-to event as the weather cools down. There's no better food than Bakersfield BrunchFest. You get all sorts of BrunchFest bites, free drinks, and instead of buying tickets, you can win tickets right here on the Early Bird Special by calling or texting in anytime to 661-842-2000. Let us know how your Labor Day weekend was, whether it was college football, baseball, your fantasy draft. How do they go? Let us know. 842-2000.
I mean, if you had some issues with the NFL app on fantasy football, as we did over the weekend, I'm sure it was a very, very delightful weekend for you, as it was for me and Sparky, who had to deal with a lot of angry fantasy football players.
Like babysitting children.
I swear, when I'm just gonna public service announcement for everybody who's not a commissioner in your NFL, ESPN fantasy football leagues. Okay. Your commissioner does not work for ESPN. They do not work for the NFL. They do not run the app. They do not block you from being able to draft whoever you want. So stop with your complaints.
Yeah.
Stop it. It's technology. Okay. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Granted, yes, it's supposed to be here to make our lives easier. Sometimes it doesn't do that.
Technologica.
So if you guys had the same issues we had, I mean, one of my drafts got pushed back a little bit. One that me and Sparky were in yesterday didn't work at all. Apparently, it dropped everybody out and didn't save our draft picks, which I don't know how that's possible when it let me draft every single person. And afterwards, my roster was there.
Yeah. Oh, see, mine wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
I didn't have any issues. It just didn't save the results.
It is what it is. Regardless,
it's over.
Yeah, don't get mad at your commissioners as if they have anything to do with this, or as if they can just text the NFL and say, hey, my app didn't work. Can you go back and put all of these picks in for me and my friends? Because, it's the way it works.
Since we didn't pay for it.
That's not at all how this works. Yes. So be kind to your commissioners. Have a good time. It's fantasy football. Granted, I know a lot of you put some money down on your leagues. I get that can become frustrating when, you feel like things have been cheated. There's nothing that these people can do for you. Nothing. So just take that into account. Enjoy your league. Do with what you got. You have a whole season to figure it out. And the beauty of football, as Sparky has said a million times over the last couple of weeks, anything can happen.
And you win by waivers.
You really do. You win by being active. I can promise you right now, I have seen so many people have really bad starts to the year because of injuries and stuff like that. Greg Kerr being one of them. Our very own Greg Kerr right here on 101.1 FM. He has bounced back from some rough years before and gotten to the championships just by being active in the league.
He's a waiver warrior.
It happens. So if you're one of those people that had trouble with your fantasy football over the weekend, I apologize. I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
But don't take it out on people that don't deserve it.
Get over it.
It's not that big of a deal. However, there's some football news, I should say, that is a big deal that we need to talk about, especially in the world of college. Because if you, much like I, spent your entire Labor Day weekend doing nothing but sitting on the couch watching football and sports, holy hera, did you see some great college football on Saturday. First and foremost, I said it with our guys from BC last week multiple times. Big thank you to Lee Corso. I'm going to start then. I mean, if you took Lee Corso's bets, you were perfect on Saturday. He literally did not miss a single pick. On his last day, he was 6-0. Every single one he picked, he got it completely right, including Florida State over Bama. which nobody else on that on that show had. And Bama got embarrassed. We'll get to that in a second, because I'm not going to lie to you. I think Kalen DeBoer might be out of a freaking job here pretty soon. And I know people are laughing at me saying, oh, that's an overreaction. No, it's not. No, it is not.
That was the headline on Unsportsmanlike leading into us. Is
Kalen DeBoer might be
gone.
on his way out of Alabama after 2 years. And that's unfortunate, but it's kind of like the Vince Scully situation. You never want to be the next guy to fill in for the legend. And you're taking over for arguably the greatest college football coach to ever be a coach, especially at Bama. And you not only started last year rough, but you're going to sit there and tell me you lost to a Florida State team that was a non-factor last year. And granted, I'm sure a lot of people are sitting there saying, well, I mean, clearly Florida State played out of their mind. Lee Corso, their guy, picked them and it's his last day. So they took that as a step of motivation to win. Maybe that's true. Maybe Florida State's a team this year. Maybe we'll figure that out. And maybe DeBoer will keep his job based on that. But personally, watching that Alabama-Florida State game, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, they looked lazy.
That looked stupid. I have not seen an Alabama team look that bad since mid-2000s, early 90s, when Bama was literally one of the worst teams in college football. People forget about that. I'm going to have to, remind some people here pretty soon. But I don't know, dude. Watching that game, that's one of the biggest things that I noticed was Kalen DeBoer might be out of a job. And the first one to bring it up on Monday, I should say, was Cam Newton, former Auburn quarterback. And granted, Auburn, Alabama, there's the rivalry. Of course, he wants to see Alabama crash and burn. But he brought up a very good point. You brought in a guy who didn't really fully understand what it means to coach in the SEC, to be successful as a coach in the SEC, to be marketable, to really continue this Crimson Tide era that Nick Saban had set up perfectly for you. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Nick Saban left because of the NIL, because he couldn't compete with other colleges paying for players like he did. I think that's shenanigans. I think that has a lot to do with it. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's more about the mentality in which these players are coming in with now. They're not necessarily coming in to be coached. They're coming in to have success. They're coming in to make money and move on to the next professional level for them. So I think that's more what Nick Saban got fed up with. And Mrs. Saban, to be honest with you, probably was the biggest driving factor, telling him, hey, maybe it's time to hang it up. Maybe football has moved on past you. It happens. But right now, if I'm the Crimson Tide of Alabama and I'm looking at how that week 1 went, my head coach is very, very close to being fired. And that may be a gross overreaction, but if you look at the success that Alabama has had in the last 2 decades, and look at what Kalen DeBoer, who was a successful coach at Washington, but again, you're talking about the Pac-12 compared to the SEC, and there was the Pac-12 at the time. The competition is vastly different. It's really starting to show, at least in my opinion. Did you get to catch this game at all?
I did, and what I got out of it was they looked outcoached. 1, 2, they looked lazy. They were jogging around. The tackling was horrible, and it just looked like they were outcoached and didn't really have a game plan. And that does land on the coach. Hopefully he can shake it off and, turn this season around after 1 game. I wouldn't say he's going to get fired, but he's definitely on the hot seat. He's got the eyeballs on him. And when you're going into a big school like this, you gotta cut it or you're going to get cut. And that's just how it happens. And it is, I will repeat the same thing. It's difficult. No one wants to have to follow a legend like that. And when you take an Alabama job, you know what you're getting into. So when I saw the players, I'd clean it up, but they just looked lazy. So they were getting worked all over the field, and the tackling was the number one thing for me. I was just like, what are we? Is this Alabama?
No, it was clearly not Alabama, right? I mean, now we're hearing all these stories about the players getting DoorDashed food at 2 a.m. to the hotel the night before the game, and how their entire just idea was off. Their focus wasn't there. And to be honest with you, you're going into a game where, for those of you who didn't hear this, starting quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles, Tommy Castellanos, came out in a media presser and said, Nick Saban's not there to save you anymore. So I'm going to, I'm here. I'm taking you down. And that to me, if I'm on Alabama, especially on the defensive side, and I hear the starting quarterback of the other team, especially a team that wasn't successful last year, come out and say, I'm taking down the big boy of Alabama. Are you coming in not ready to cream this kid? Are you coming in not visually ready to just make this the worst day of that man's life?
You would think. Just fed you. Like, come on, let's go.
That's what I'm saying. So where was the drive? Where was at all the Alabama that we are used to seeing go out and win championships? The one that Tua Tagovailoa came out and took the spot away from Jalen Hurts, in which both of them are now quarterbacks in the NFL and led their teams to 2 incredible seasons. Where was that Alabama? Where's the leadership from Alabama on the field as well as in the coaching room? Because if I'm Kalen DeBoer and I hear the other quarterback taking shots at my defense, I'm not going to sit there and say, well, I'm going to let you guys prepare whichever way you want to prepare. What? No, I am taking that media presser. I am clipping that out. I am putting that in the middle of my team meeting multiple times and saying, this is what he thinks of you. Did anybody want to say something to Tommy? Because now I'm putting that in the middle of my team meeting today as these guys come back to watch film and saying, that guy is your daddy. That guy made you look dumb. And now Florida State looks like a better team than you.
And he backed it.
Yes, he did. He absolutely did. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Castellanos isn't a great quarterback. He's a solid quarterback. Is he going to be an NFL quarterback? We'll see. Jury's still out. But is he good enough to step into this mold and say, I'm the guy, I'm going to take down Bama and have Bama do nothing about it? That is the wildest thing to me. You came out with 0 fight, 0 drive. Alabama is probably looking at another 500 season, which is abysmal if we're really going to be honest about it.
If they're lucky.
I'm standing on this hill right now. By the end of this season, if this continues, DeBoer will be fired. 100%. Alabama will not allow this. You can just watch the SEC documentary on Netflix to know where that's going to go. I mean, come on. This is not Alabama football whatsoever. So this was a rough start for Alabama. Again, jury's still out. Maybe we're all wrong, and the Seminoles are coming back to form here, and they're going to be another top 25 team and be one of those teams in the SEC this year. Maybe. Jury's still out. But
yeah, it was a good win.
That was ugly.
It's a good win for them. We'll take our break. We'll get into some other college football games. If you'd like to go to Bakersfield Brunch Fest, text in anytime throughout the show. We'll pick our winner in the next hour by texting in to 661-842-2000. We are the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. We are streaming live video-wise as well on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all over the place. Just look up the Early Bird Special or the Early Bird Special Official in terms of TikTok and Instagram. You can find us all over the place, our clips, share, like, all that good stuff with your friends. And join us every day right here, 7 to 9 a.m., wherever you are around the country. I got a couple people in Nevada listening. I know we got a couple people in Utah listening, believe it or not. We pissed off a lot of people with our Ace Bailey video with that Utah thing, and they have not left since. And I'm happy for it. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you. This is the Early Bird Special, though, and there was a whole bunch of college football to talk about, including Texas. Horns down, baby. Just saying. I'm throwing that down there. Horns down. Always horns down. However, I am an Arch Manning fan. I hope this kid actually works out. But when he goes up against top defenses in college football, including one of Ohio State on Saturday, it makes it really rough. And he had a rough game. I think I saw a statistic over the weekend that said that he maybe looked on rhythm in passing at least 30% of the time. That means 70% of the time this kid was under pressure. He was being forced to do things he didn't want to do, and it showed. He had 2 interceptions. One of them got called back, thank goodness, but he threw 2 pretty bad balls that ended up being picked off. He had 1 touchdown and was held to 30 yards through the first 3 quarters for the most part of the game.
He looked rattled.
Oh, big time.
Until the fourth quarter. He got into a better rhythm, but it was a bit too late. I know our friend Shauna, diehard Ohio State fan,
was loving it.
Said she was about to have a heart attack. She was so worked up. She thought they were going to get smoked. And I texted her about 5 minutes after the game. She's like, let me breathe. Let me breathe.
Well, coming into the game, you figured Arch Manning, the Heisman hopeful, everybody's favorite. I mean, you thought he was going to come in, look like his uncles. But again, when you are able to make teams look bad by keeping them off balance, especially defensively, you are going to control college football games. Now, Ohio State, do not think that you are sprinting your way towards a championship here, because you guys didn't look great either, especially offensively. Jalen Sand still has a lot to work with. Granted, he's a freshman, so you have a lot of positive things to work on there. And the team didn't exactly look great against the Texas defense either. Both sides really held up well, and that's a good sign for really both teams, because that means at least defensively you're going to be stout throughout this season. But you got to figure it out on offense in order to score. 14 points ain't going to do it against most of these teams, especially against teams in the Big 10, Big 12, wherever you're going to be playing. You got Michigan coming at you. I genuinely believe that Ohio State is going to be fighting for a spot in this college football playoff. And to do that, you need to be able to score some ball. You need to be able to play scoring football. And at this point, 14 points ain't going to get it done for you. But you look great against Texas. I think the bigger question mark now is, can Texas really live up to the expectation that everybody has given them in, week 0 of the season? Are we going to write off Arch Manning after one game against Ohio State?
People were ready.
I know. I think it's
relax.
I think it's a little early, but to be fair, this is now 2 games that we've seen Arch against a formidable opponent, because he had Georgia last year and he didn't look great in that game either. So I think that this entire season is going to be one of those years where you really see a lot of development from Arch against top tier defenses. Because if he really is going to be this next in line of the Manning family, especially at the professional level in the NFL, he's going to need to be able to bounce back from stuff like this. And lucky for him, the best conference to be able to do that in, at least in college sports, is the SEC. So hopefully week 2, we see a little bit more development. I know a lot of coaches say that the most development you will see out of your football team is in between weeks 1 and 2, especially at the high school and college level. I believe that we're going to see Texas bounce back. I mean, they have a very, very easy game coming up. I believe it's San Jose State or something of that nature. It's somebody
same with Alabama.
Yeah, it should be somebody that they blow out. I'll look it up right now. But at this point right now, what did you think of Arch's first game as the full-time starter in Texas?
Just kind of like what I said. He looked rattled. He looked, obviously, when it's your first game of the season, nobody wants to play Ohio State's defense.
No.
But it was a great test. And I think once it got out of his head, the first 3 quarters were rough on him, and Ohio State was Ohio State. They came out swinging, and they came right after him. And I wasn't going to take Texas over Ohio State. I thought it was a little early to take Texas at number 1 in the whole polls, and I think that'll rattle up, the actual rankings. But I'm not one that lives and dies by the rankings. Personally, I think the rankings are a little jacked up, anyways. But I wasn't surprised. And after you had mentioned Lee Corso's picks after he took them, I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the only one that wasn't expecting a big game out of Arch. And what we kind of got was a opening season game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think what he looked better in the fourth, and I think that's something to build on. Both of us have coached football teams, obviously not at this level, but when you see something, it gets in their head, gets a little rattled. He was able to shut that down and get into a better rhythm in the fourth quarter. Ohio State's going to be a tough team to beat. And hopefully we'll get a rematch later in the season in the playoffs. But I personally wasn't on the Arch train.
Right.
I think this kid's still has to grow. I mean, everyone's talking Arch NFL, and everyone's drafting or everyone's tanking for Arch. Let the kid, build himself up first before you start thinking, okay, he's the Heisman winner. He's going to be the first pick in the draft.
Right.
Like, let the kid grow.
It's funny. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm starting to think Grandpa knew something we didn't. Not necessarily that he wouldn't want to leave after his first year, but maybe
He's not
Arch
ready.
isn't ready to.
Yeah.
Maybe he needs multiple years down in college as a starting quarterback to really find his rhythm. Because, okay, the next 3 games for Texas, by the way, San Jose State should be an easy walkover, and that's at home. UTEP at home and Sam Houston at home. All 3 of those should be great confidence builders for Arch and this team going forward before they have to travel to Florida to take on the Gators. And then right after that, they come back home to take on Oklahoma. So right now is the only time you're going to really have to show Arch that you can play at this level in a consistent manner. Because he threw some balls on Saturday. They look great. They look like professional level. He's got the skill. You can see it while watching him. If he can be in rhythm, he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the entire NCAA. But the Ohio State defense just did a great job, although they didn't sack him a lot, but they pressured him all day.
Kept him contained.
They kept him running. They kept him throwing to people who he didn't want to. He had to check down far too many times to the running back and to the tight end.
Where he got happy feet.
He did. And that's really where that's how you've always been able to beat the Manning family. If you really want to boil it down, you look at both Eli and Peyton, although Arch has more athleticism and more of a run game, and you saw it a little bit during this game. But then he takes one major pop on the sideline, and we don't see it again. Whether that was Sarkisian's decision or his, I have yet to find out. And that's the other thing I think that a lot of people aren't putting into this as well. I talked a lot last week, especially to our guy Bolt Brady, about Bill Belichick and this North Carolina Tar Heels football team. I think you really got to put a lot of the blame of Texas's fault on Sarkisian. I genuinely do. His decision-making, especially early in the game, to go for it on 4th down right on the goal line, you could have taken points. There were multiple instances in that first quarter where they went for it on 4th down and it didn't work. Like, I genuinely believe Steve Sarkisian, we need to start reevaluating who this dude is as a coach. Because if you really look at it, I've never been a fan. And I'm a USC fan. He used to coach for USC. Everybody, you may have forgotten the time where he got fired for being drunk at a team party or whatever, and had the entire speech where he was slurring his words, and he had and I don't mean to attack his mental health, but he was having some mental issues. He has some depressional issues. Hopefully he's over that now. But when I was watching that game and kept hearing everybody refer to him as an offensive genius and this guru and blah, 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 I was like, since when? When did Sarkisian, can we stop I know that, trust me, I've done it. I've covered football games. I've had to commentate football games. So I get it. You have to find ways to flare it up. You know what I mean? To make it sound nice. But can we stop calling every single coach an offensive guru or an offensive genius?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, there was a man with a pencil in his ear right across the way that made that man look stupid. And that man is coaching the NFL. Is he a defensive genius? Or did he just learn a whole ton from his years with Bill Belichick? We didn't exactly sit there and call him a defensive genius for stopping the offensive genius. So can we stop with the Sarkisian is a genius? I don't think Sarkisian's the right quarterback to be coaching this Texas team, to be honest with you. And I don't think he's the quarterback I don't think he's the coach that's going to get the most out of his quarterback in Arch Manning. So the issue with Texas may not even be Arch. It may be the coaching. But I don't hear anybody talking about that. We are so quick. I mean, the first thing I said when we started this show is DeBoer is on the hot seat on the way of getting fired in Bama. Now, granted, they lost to the number 3, should have probably been the number 2, if not the number 1 team in Ohio State, who also probably came into this game a little bit scorned that this team got put over them in the rankings when the season started, even though they're the national champions. So I think going into this game, they probably had a little animosity going into it, probably played with the same intensity that you would have expected someone like Bama to come out and play with. But realistically speaking, shouldn't Sarkisian, being the offensive genius that he was, shouldn't he have been ready for that? Shouldn't he have made the adjustments during the game to make Arch look good? But he didn't. So is it really on Arch that this Texas team looked bad? Or is it on Sarkisian for not making the correct calls? Is it on Sarkisian for forcing him to go on 4th down twice in the first quarter? What are you doing? I'm not even a Texas fan. I said it at first. Horns down. Will forever be horns down because I'm a USC fan. But when it comes to this entire situation with Arch Manning, I think we got to start pointing the finger more at Steve Sarkisian than we do at Arch. Because there were a lot of instances during that game on Saturday where I was sitting there saying, when are you going to make a difference? When are you as a coach going to change something here?
I was waiting for him to change up.
Right.
Okay, well, they're going to go after you. All right. Well, then let's open up some
screenplay.
Let's do some little short screens, some short slants. Let's open up and give this kid some space. And they didn't. They just continue to do the same old lazy things.
And you know what bugs me is every time that happens in a football game, you get the same excuse from a coach. Well, we didn't want to open up our offensive playbook this early and show everybody what we can. Stop it. The whole point in having the playbook is to open it up when you need it.
Yeah, to use it.
When. This is college football. This isn't pro. This is college.
This isn't preseason.
Every single win you could possibly get in college football. You lose 1 or 2 games, you're out. You're not a factor anymore, regardless of which conference you play in.
You're going to open it up next week.
Exactly. You're gonna dump in the other 50% against UTEP
when you put up 80 points.
Stop
relax.
That's ridiculous. And again, I'm not saying he used that excuse, but that's the first one that he would go to if you walked up to him and said, "Why not open up the playbook?"
Yeah.
We can't do that on week 1. That's not exact.
You put too much on Arch.
Stop it. You've been preparing for this game for weeks. You look dumb. You couldn't do anything to stop him. And again, the defensive stud of a coach on the other side made you look stupid, Steve Sarkisian.
Yes.
So that's why you're most likely going to fall to 5. I would assume Ohio State will get bumped up to 1, even though Penn State looked incredible as well with their win. Although not a huge Nittany Lion guy. I don't understand that one. But
we'll take a break. We'll get into some other college football scores, what we got out of these games, and we'll throw in some NFL news before 24 KG joins us at 8 o'clock talking a little wrestling right here on the Early Bird Special on ESPN Bakersfield, 12:30 a.m.
101.1 FM. there is a white boy playing the music. So if you have any recommendations, feel free. Text in 661-842-2000.
I know Sammy and Gabe are listening. They've got some. I love their music playlist, so he always throws in some songs I've never heard, and
Fantastic.
it gets stuck on my playlist. So
And
big
don't
shout
forget,
out.
we do still have that playlist out there. We got to share
Yes,
that
we
again
do.
on socials for you guys if you want.
And keep
We
it
have
clean.
we have a Spotify playlist. You can go find us on Spotify at the Early Bird Special. Our old podcast episodes are still there. They're a year or two old, though, mind you. If you want the newer ones, you're going to have to go to YouTube. But there is a playlist there where you can add in to our bumper music. Again, keep it clean. Don't go crazy on us. And if it's within reason, we'll play it for you right here on the show at any
That
point
one
in
was
time.
actually on the playlist.
Yep, absolutely. Well, who doesn't know Funky Music White Boy? I mean, come on. We got a funky white boy right here.
Yes, a couple of them.
Real quick, before we get out of the world of college football and into the text messages, because I know you guys are blowing us up right now and probably calling me a hooligan for my thoughts. But
well, you want those Bakersfield BrunchFest tickets? Text them
absolutely.
in 842-2000.
The last two games that we really need to highlight are the two biggest ones that you saw on television. Obviously, the first one being LSU and Clemson.
Boom.
Go Tigers.
Boom, baby.
I was thinking about that. I'm gonna find the override. I'm gonna find the Coach O drop, and we're gonna have that on the side just for the fun. The Tigers beat the Tigers. Yes, the Tigers beat the Tigers. The LSU Tigers end up winning 17-10 over the Clemson Tigers.
After a horrible call, but
well, I mean, that happens. It happens in football. It's like I've always been told by every coach I've ever been coached by, never let the referee dictate the end of the game.
Yep. Luckily, they came back and scored again, but
and when you really look at it, the LSU Tigers were able to control this game on the ground, which is why they won. Clemson could not do anything in the run game, and it really just stunted their entire game. LSU, Garrett Nussmeier came out looking much like everybody on this radio wavelength has been saying is the best quarterback in the SEC. I can't wait to see what this kid can do, especially at the next level. I think that if he would have came out in this draft class, he probably would have been drafted higher than a lot of other guys, probably second or third behind Cam Ward and, what should have been Shedeur Sanders, but obviously was not Shedeur Sanders. But going into this game, 17-10, the LSU Tigers show everybody that there's only one Death Valley, and that's down in Louisiana. How did you feel about this? You're the LSU guy.
How
you feeling?
I was
about the
nervous.
Tigers?
I was nervous. I will say I was running the BC football game and had it on right behind me, so I was going back and forth. And I will say LSU's defense is tough, and they're going to be tough. But I mean, it's game one, so I don't want to put too much craziness on it. But I will say LSU is going to be tough, and I think pulling out that win, I know they were pissed after a couple calls actually and a couple turnovers. They got to hold on to the ball, one, because there was a couple of fumbles. Luckily, that one in the end zone was after he crossed the line, but I'm happy. LSU looked good. My Georgia Bulldogs looked good. BC pulled out a win, so I was happy when I left here Saturday.
This was the first opener that Brian Kelly has been able to win as the LSU head coach. He is 0-3 going into the game. He's now 1-3 coming out of it. This was huge because much like the Kalen DeBoer situation, much like the Sarkisian situation, LSU loses this game, especially in an embarrassing fashion. We probably are talking today about Brian Kelly's job being up in the air, especially in Louisiana. And this is a situation where you even got Lee Corso coming out saying that you are his favorite to win the championship this year. So there are high expectations in Death Valley for those Tigers. This was a great way to start that entire situation for you. And to be honest with you, I think Brian Kelly is very, very much just hoping and praying that this shakes off his bad juju, because it didn't start until he got here. He was, I think, 12-2 before going to LSU in opening day games. He only lost 2 at Notre Dame. I mean, I've been very critical of Brian Kelly since, being a coherent football fan, to be honest with you. But that's, again, a USC fan. Obviously, I'm going to be very critical of the longtime Notre Dame head coach.
Of course, and they pulled out the win, but going over to Notre Dame, who lost a close one to Miami, which was a hell of a game too. I
God.
got up to watch that one.
Carson Beck, although shocking that he is continuing his college career, I thought for sure he, like Nussmeier, was going to be gone after this year, especially after the Georgia season we saw last year. But
Yeah.
he's clearly looking into getting more money for himself right now and making a bigger name for himself to potentially hire his draft stock next season. And with this game over the Irish, I think you kind of helped yourself. 205 yards, 2 touchdowns in Miami, especially with a team that is very, very well known for running the football down your throat. And these are two, at least last year, were two of the most run heavy teams in college ball, were Notre Dame and the U. This game was fun. And again, I love seeing the Irish go down in week 1. I'm sorry. That's just
Me too. But it was entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really have a horse in the race, but
seeing these
it was
two
a hell of a game.
quarterbacks go up against each other, CJ Carr had just won the starting spot here in Notre Dame not too long ago. Carson Beck obviously transferring to the U out of Georgia, hopeful that he is able to at least compete for a championship one last time here in college. When you look at these two go up against each other, especially in a format in which we saw, I think that this is a great step forward for both of these teams. I mean, neither of you are really leaving this game thinking, wow, I can't believe we lost, like in a bad way. This was a great showing for both of you.
We shut up late.
And they did. And both of these quarterbacks were able to make plays that personally I didn't know if they were going to be able to make. So as an outside looking in, now I'm thinking we really got to worry about these guys. I mean, I wouldn't expect the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to drop very far in the rankings. They were number 6 coming in. I assume they're probably going to drop down to
7 or 8.
8 or 9. Yeah.
Really?
Probably in that area, depending on how
hate the rankings. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. They're so fluid in the beginning of the year. You're right. It's hard to really get a grasp on what we're going to see going down in the rest of the season. But I think that this game, even though you lost as a Notre Dame fan, I wouldn't necessarily be hanging my head that hard. I think this was a great showing for you guys, and going against a lot of other teams, including teams like my own USC Trojans here in the next couple of weeks. I'm worried about you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I really am. Even though USC blew out Montana State by like 80.
Yeah, was it 80 points?
It was
like
pretty
70
dang close.
something.
It was pretty close.
I just looked at the ticket. I was like, damn.
And that's the one we were supposed to go to too. So
was it?
Yeah, this is the one that we were talking about going to.
I was like, damn.
But again, it's not one that you should really take to heart because they played Montana State. So what are we supposed to do? Ouch. If they lost the game, it would be a huge question mark.
Well, some of the notes I did take over some other games. Obviously, the Bill Belichick, the North Carolina blowout.
But see here,
which wasn't
on my statement.
It's North Carolina.
When have we ever seen North Carolina as a football school?
When I think North Carolina, I think Michael Jordan. I think basketball. Yes. I think March Madness, North Carolina.
If anybody can name actually, you know what? I take it back. Jabril Peppers. I'll give you him. But outside of that,
who was cut over the weekend?
Oh, I'm sorry, not Jabril. No, the Julius Peppers. Yes. I apologize. Julius Peppers, not Jabril. Jabril went to Michigan.
Jabril got cut this weekend by
Julius
the Patriots.
Peppers. Yes, he did. But actually, I thought it was funny after the entire situation between him and Vrabel, and he telling Vrabel, hey, take my number off. And then Vrabel said, you better go look at those stands right there, boy, and see who actually wore this number first.
Go look for a job.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, you weren't really a huge part of the team, so it doesn't surprise me at all that you got fired. But yes, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers being the only one that I know of that I believe went to North Carolina. I'll have to double check myself and try myself or type myself up if I'm wrong. But I have never in my lifetime seen a football player from North Carolina in the NFL that has been amazing outside of him. So when did we all start believing that North Carolina was a football school, even though Bill Belichick is coming to coach there? I'm not.
I think it was more of the hype that Belichick was going to be able to bring in some of these guys with the portal. Obviously, It's going to take more than a year or an off season to bring in whatever Belichick's trying to bring. And I still stand with, I think Belichick goes back to the NFL before anything happens with North Carolina.
I agree. And, actually, you know what? I'm seeing here that I guess Lawrence Taylor went to North Carolina as well.
Who?
Was unaware of that.
Never heard of him.
But at this point, those are the only two that you can give me.
Well, the other one I had to bring up is Jackson Arnold at Auburn. He looked good. I mean, damn, he almost ran 140 yards on the ground. Auburn, which I always had a secret, like a little side. It's my side hustle with Auburn. I won some money a couple years ago, so I've always kept an eye on Auburn. But that was one of the surprises for me, anyways. But the blowout with North Carolina, I'll second that. Who watches North Carolina football?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that in a sense of like really trying to slight the team. I know Bill has created something new here and he's really getting it off the ground, but that's why I'm making this point. I don't think everybody should be going into this season expecting North Carolina to be competing for a playoff spot. Give him a year at least. Like he's got to create the program first and get these guys going before anything. And to come in thinking that they were going to blow out a team like TCU, who have been competing the last couple of years, no. I don't expect much from this North Carolina team outside of being a talking point that Bill Belichick is there and he's building something there. In the next 5 years, I expect Bill to turn it around, sure. But right now, let's calm down on all of that. The last guy that I know of that came out of you or that came out of the NFL or came into the NFL out of North Carolina, Mitch Trubisky and Sam Howell.
It's like who?
Exactly. So again, I don't think that we should be really looking at this team expecting championship pedigree just because Bill Belichick is coaching there now.
Well, we'll take our final break of the hour. We'll get to some of your texts, especially the ones during for college football. Right after this break, we are the Early Bird Special.
Welcome back. This is the early bird special right here on ESPN Bakersfield, 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. Also streaming live video-wise every single day on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff. Find us every single day. And you can go back and watch previous episodes as well, as long as they are on our YouTube channel. I believe every single episode should still be there under the live radio broadcast or playlist, as well as a handful of them already broken up for you. I will have the final fantasy football video up most likely today. I thought I had the stuff I needed over the weekend, but I guess I didn't. And it was a long weekend for the kids. So I decided I'm just going to focus on football
And
because there's way too much to pay attention to.
keep it tuned in, ESPN, all week. We'll have the season opener Thursday night right here on top of the Friday night game, which is not really night.
Yeah, what time does that actually
think it's
start
at
in
5.
Brazil? Is it 5 o'clock? That'd
Yeah,
be the
pregame's at
Chargers and Chiefs
4, yes.
live from Brazil.
And then we've got a triple header Sunday. Obviously, we're the home of the Las Vegas Raiders, so we'll get the Raiders. I have to get the schedule, but we'll definitely have the Thursday night game, the Eagles Cowboys, the Friday game in Brazil, 3 games on Sunday, and then we'll have our Monday night game. But going into some of our texts, obviously, we have one that said Lawrence Taylor also went to North Carolina.
I will give you Lawrence Taylor and Peppers, but that still does not tell me that North Carolina was ever a football school. That's just me. When we think North Carolina, was the first person. That's not Lawrence Taylor.
Jordan.
I promise you.
I
walk around anywhere in Chapel Hill and say, what's the number one sport you're known for? Most of them ain't going to say football.
No. They're trying.
They are trying, which, again, not against that at all. I love to see Bill Belichick and who did he bring in as a GM? Lombardi. He brought Longbow with him as well. I hope they could turn this around and make it a football school. That'd be great for North Carolina. But until that happens, I'm going to sit here and say you need to give Bill some time. Let's not just assume he's going to walk in and just dominate football. He doesn't have Tom Brady with him.
Someone texted and said, well, Belichick will probably last this year, but he'll be the head coach of Alabama next year. Don't say that.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
Give me a reason to hate him more.
God, look, man. I think that he's building the right kind of program of what you need going forward for college, especially if we're moving these athletes into more of a professional light. But again, just like I said a couple seconds ago, gotta give him time to do that. Let's let him build it and see if it works first before we have Alabama calling his number saying, hey, Bill, you want to come coach? Because, again, I'm still knocking on the door of John Gruden coming back to college football.
He wants to. I will say I don't want to see that. The next one says Archie is adopted.
I saw that video too.
I was like, ouch.
Somebody took the Manning cast and did a AI voiceover, and that's the first thing is they show the pic, and then it's just
I watched the Manning cast. They were
he was adopted.
They were ripping him apart too.
Well, let's not forget as well, he's the part of the family whose the dad's not a quarterback. He played receiver, and actually the mom, from what everybody kept saying on the broadcast, the mom is where he gets his wheels, not grandpa. So I don't know. We will see. I have high hopes for Arch, but I think much like Bill, let's give it a sec. Let's let him get used to going against these big defenses.
The next one says Alabama will go 7-5. I'm calling it now.
7-5, I think, is a fair number. I 500 football or anywhere in that number, you're getting fired, DeBoer. I'm sorry. That's not Alabama football anymore. We have a just grip of spoiled fans in Bama. And I say spoiled in the best way. When you have success like they have, it's hard to walk away from, man. It really is.
The other one says Bama's not going to fire him. They're not going to pay that $60 million buyout.
I'm telling you, brother, just wait. They're going to fire him. If they go 7-5 this year, I promise you, Alabama is talking about it. There's at least concepts of maybe we can get John Gruden. Like, maybe we can get another coach. Maybe there's a coach on the staff right now who can figure it out.
The other one said Tar Heel getting their butt kicked yesterday was great. LSU and Miami both looked great.
Fantastic teams, man. Again, it's college football. It's the best time of the year. NFL is here as well. Football season is upon us, and I could not be happier. Although every bit of my weekends are now going to be sucked up by football. So sorry if anybody wanted to hang out. That's not going to be a thing. We got to take a break. On the other side, we're going to talk wrestling with our guy 24KG. This is the Early Bird Special right here on ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. Oh, such a sour note. Such a sour note.
Why? Why?
Honestly, no, I love it because we called this weeks ago. You can go back and watch our wrestling videos for weeks, and you can tell that we knew. We knew.
I didn't think it was going to happen.
I didn't think it was going to
this
happen
way.
at all. I thought they just threw it away because they had something for Beck. But honestly, after that botch of a match between her and Nikki, we'll get to that when KG gets in here. He is on his way. He is currently, from Sparky's look, it looked like he was at the door. I was like, is he here? Is he here? No. He is dealing with traffic. Our daily traffic reminder for you, the day, if you at all are in Bakersfield, California, do not drive on California Avenue. This is for your own benefit. This is not me being a grandpa saying, stay off my lawn. This is me saying they're digging up the street. And when I say digging up the street, I mean digging up the street.
It's happening everywhere too.
It really is.
Coffee is
They've chosen
jacked up,
such a terrible time for
right?
this. I mean, I guess I kind of get it. Kids at school means less people on the street, so more time for them to do it. But at the same time, just if you at all are not looking to get into the middle of traffic, unfortunately, I asked our friend KG to come in today. I should have just told him to do it from his apartment because we have figured out the streaming situation. At least I hope.
We'll know tomorrow when we have
When we
the
have both of
BC
them
guys.
on. But we will talk about Clash in Paris plus what we saw yesterday on Raw at 11 because it was during the day for those
Monday
of you.
Morning Raw.
Did that throw anybody else off?
I enjoyed it.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it on Friday too. But for some reason, while sitting there watching it, I'm just sitting there thinking, oh man, I got to do my notes after this and then start getting ready for bed.
Wait, what?
It's 2.
lunchtime?
Like, what's happening? It just threw me off a little bit. I don't know why. It just my internal clock was not processing that we had this overseas yesterday and all of this is boiling over, obviously. But if you were able to watch Clash in Paris over the weekend on Sunday,
before we get
fantastic.
KG here, I will say we did get one texter on Clash in Paris says
Sweet.
Overall was all right, but the end sucked. Horrible way to end her relationship with Peacock, and AJ Lee is not coming in. I'm calling it right now.
Here's my thing. One, I agree with you. It was a very lackluster PLE in multiple ways. I think some of those matches were awful, if I'm being honest with you. I shouldn't say awful. There were spots in these matches that were bad. And I don't know if it was the angle of the camera or whoever was directing that day, but there were multiple instances where they took angles they shouldn't have, and it really
they were
showed
doing it in pregame too.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know who's running the cameras today, but you're not doing a very good job. But for those of you who are on the same boat as us, that we're kind of upset that we are no longer getting these PLEs on Peacock. Apparently, NXT's PLEs are staying on Peacock. So if you're an NXT fan like you do have to keep Peacock.
I don't even want to talk about streaming right now because today is the day I got to sign up for Sunday Ticket.
Can we just go back to cable, please? Can we all just realize this is cable now? Please, like at this point, my PlayStation is a cable box.
Yep.
Like what? It's just all on demand. That's all it is. But again, I agree with you. It was kind of a lackluster way to finish it. I can't wait to hear what KG
I enjoyed
has to say. There were matches where they were great. Don't get me wrong. The 4-way, fantastic. I thought that was great. John and Logan Paul cooked. That was fantastic. The tag match, awesome. And me and Sparky were texting throughout the entire tag match, and we both have the same thought process on the Street Profits, which I can't wait to get into. But there were certain spots in this that I was just like, wow, this didn't land like I was hoping to.
Well, the Becky match that's
the biggest one to me.
That one is
Becky and Nikki was.
I'm not a big Nikki fan in general, and I saw stupid me. I went on social media, and everyone was bashing Becky.
As if Becky's the one that makes that match bad.
Becky's been driving these matches.
That's what I keep saying. I'm like, dude, I don't get it. But again, that's the wrestling fandom. Everybody loves to have their own opinions, and as well you should. That's what wrestling's all about, is having your own opinions. But I don't think really Becky was the reason for that match being bad. I really don't. There were a lot of spots, including Nikki trying to jump out for a kick and completely whiffing. That weird little spot they did where she took Becky's head and
back and forth,
bash the back of it on the back of the pot. And
they're like, "Oh, Becky wasn't selling." I'm like,
no, that was just a really dumb move.
Horrible moves.
Like she's doing it far too quick. You're not doing it with any intention.
She was trying to play drums with Becky's head.
Exactly. It's like it looked like you were trying to bounce a basketball with an inch gap in between the ball and the floor. Like it didn't sell correct. Like it's not that she didn't sell correctly, it's that the move itself didn't land. Like it really didn't. But again, the entire PLE
the opening match was great.
I thought that was good.
I enjoyed it.
I need to actually get my notes part of it out because
that was the original. What is it? Yeah, the tribal chief against the tribal thief.
Yes, Roman and Bronson. That's right. That's what started it all. So Roman taking out Bronson was nice to see because we got to see the buildup of Roman again and that he's not fully just there to eat pins for people anymore. But the beatdown of him afterwards, including the guillotine to Paul Heyman that he did was kind of brutal as well. It's all setting up this entire thing that I'm going to lean on, I swear. And again, this was a great way for them to set up that, oh, Seth's on his own and he has nobody to back him up, as me and Sparky were texting during or while watching this. But it's continuing to build Braun Breaker, in my opinion, as this just unstoppable force. And I'm going to stop calling his thing a spear. It's no longer a spear. That is a torpedo. When he dives at these guys, that is not a spear anymore. That's not a tackle. That is a torpedo, sir. You are flying through the air and making contact. That is incredible in its own right. But to strap Roman down on a gurney
and get to tsunami
by a 330-pound man.
Yeah, that was rough.
3 times. Like, I felt bad for Roman. I know this is all just probably storyline work-wise that, oh, you know, he's injured in the hospital now.
Now he can do Street Fighter.
Now he can go and do Street Fighter, exactly, and get his stuff cut.
Which is supposed to be through September.
Yes. But
so
again,
they're expecting back in a month or so.
Yeah, they are on a break still, from what I understand, because Cody is obviously celebrating the birth of his daughter. That's a brutal way to write him off, man. It really is. But again, you're continuing to build the B&B security that is Bronson and Bronson. And I love it. I love seeing Braun Breaker getting spots on television. Anything to see the former Steiner actually run through people is great. But we're starting to hit that level now of what are we going to do with the rest of this story? How is Roman going to get brought into this? And our boy is finally in the building after dodging all of this traffic. Give me one sec. I have to shift us on the stream. But KG, wait, why are you in Rams gear? I'm just now realizing this. The 49er is in Rams gear.
Yeah, I look good. I look good in this trash. It's an Eric Dickerson throwback. So let's just get it right first.
You lose a bet, and it's still a Rams jersey. Get that right.
Yeah.
You lost a bet.
Yeah, I sure did. I didn't wear the hat because, you know, bang, bang, Niner gang. But let's just get it.
That's why I'm sitting here like, what is happening? Hold on.
He's in shock right now.
I got to fix the camera.
Yeah.
24 kg has joined us. We just started our thoughts on this entire Clash in Paris. We had a text message come in that said they felt that the entire PLE was kind of meh, just a little mid. How did you feel coming out of this?
I'll tell you like this, man. There were certain parts of the PLE where I would rather watch Floyd Mayweather read Shakespeare in the Park out loud.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right. And when I say it was like wet trash, that's a compliment. Let's just get right to the meat and potatoes of why everybody's so disgusted right now with certain parts of that PLE. And I'm going to just go ahead and give Becky Lynch her props and praises for holding that match together with Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, stay retired. Yes. Don't ever come back.
Yeah, please
don't
leave.
Ever wrestle again.
Please leave.
Seriously, go start a makeup line.
Go get your sister, and maybe we'll consider you coming back. But let's
get dropped from some more Happy Gilmore movies. When I say that was a complete embarrassment and disservice to Becky Lynch and the quality of matches she has put on this Intercontinental title run is an understatement. I'm being nice, okay? If you want to catch my full opinion, like, you're going to have to go to YouTube for one of our special episodes because I can't say what I want to say on air.
Which are coming, by the way.
Yes, indeed.
Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Yeah, we're going to keep it clean, but
still affiliated with the
station. No, I'm going to keep it
on
clean.
On the station, it'll be clean. Yeah. On those episodes, though, we don't have to keep it clean.
I'll keep it clean right now.
It's still affiliated with the station. You got to keep it clean.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Now, look, I'm going to tell you right now, that whole car crash of a match that we seen. I don't know how it got back past the producers. I don't know who thought it was a good idea.
The head bashes in the outside of the ring.
The phantom kicks that never connected.
The jump off the top rope.
When it's gone, it's gone. We don't sit here and beg basketball players with blown out knees and dislocated shoulders to come back just for one good game. No. The woman has gone through everything that there was and even things that we didn't know until they came to light, possible from an era where women were objectified, harassed, and a whole bunch of other things that happened in that company. Hey, good for you. You're a Hall of Famer, but that does not mean just because your ex-boyfriend comes back on one hell of a run that you could spend some time around him at the office. We all know what this is about. You just can't let Cena shine. You just can't let the man go out in peace.
We're gonna tie it to that.
You can't
You
let
think she's
this
just
guy
an angry
have
ex?
I ain't saying angry ex. Maybe a stalker ex. Maybe whatever. But no, I'm sorry. I see too many dots that can connect that aren't being connected outside of wrestling that are affecting this. Now that's just my little, little 2 cents in the pond. But
can I go a little sidebar here? Because
there were other matches, but that was the main one that was just wet crap.
I agree with you, but hear me out on this, because with the ending of this PLE and now Becky joining the Vision, everybody on the internet is pushing this entire, if you were ever going to do a mixed tag tournament again,
now's the time.
Now is the time. Now, obviously, we lost Jimmy and Naomi as well.
Mm-hmm.
What if John and Nikki jumped in?
No, hell no. Don't even, man. I'm
Come
wearing a Rams jersey today. It's enough blasphemy going on in the building, bro.
I'm just saying.
Come on, man.
You're saying you're talking about her as an angry ex or a vindictive ex because her husband's coming, or boyfriend coming back for a retirement tour.
I call it professionally envious of John's career and the impact and love that he gets.
He's the GOAT. That's like saying the basketball players are envious of Michael Jordan.
No one else is. It's just her. Because she wants to make oogly eyes at him from across the locker room, and he's like, "Please stay away from me."
That's why he kissed his wife in Paris
right in front of everybody. This is my wife. Mwah. Stay away from me.
Never saw him do to Nikki. Hey,
I'm just saying. Y'all can go back and watch Meet the Bellas or Total Divas and call John the villain. No, he was standing on business.
Let's talk about the good things that we saw out of this PLE since we talked about the bad. Because personally, I think the real only sore spot of the PLE was the Becky and Nikki match. Now, Sheamus and Rusev wasn't exactly a barn burner either, but it wasn't anything we didn't expect to see.
Most definitely.
Underrated match of the night, though, in my opinion, was the tag match. The Wyatts and the Street Profits.
We finally started to see the seeds that have been planted or speculation talked about over the last few months really come to fruition with Montez and Dawkins, man. And really, I would expect Montez to be the one with the ego to lash out, for them to flip it on us and show us that Dawkins might be the problem and the frustration building on that side more so than what we would expect. Is a great turn, because everybody knows Montez is built for a singles career. He's going to be on that fast track. He's going to have the rocket strapped to his back. But the thing that's always forgotten is, what about Dawkins? What do we do with him? So for this feud to break out in the right manner, they need to burn everything that the Street Profits has built down with a nice little feud. We're probably going to see a new version of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty situation happen eventually, but I didn't see the attitude from Dawkins coming up first. I was really expecting the ego from Montez to take over. You
are going with Shawn. I was texting Sparky and I told him I'm seeing Hardys.
Whoa!
I'm seeing Montez is the high flyer that the fans love, and Dawkins is the one that's kind of being forgotten about, the guy that's very adaptable, that can really do anything you want him to. You can go against the big guy or the little guy.
Dawkins is the guy that
look good.
Keeps me pumped when
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dawkins,
he's good for a hot tag too.
Is the great outlier of this, that he could have a great solo career if they build this correctly.
Most definitely, man. They if they feud him, we all know Montez is coming out on top of that, but honestly, it doesn't matter who comes out on top as long as it's built well.
I think it's going to be Doc. I think if anybody
by hook or by crook,
I think Dawkins ends up winning that feud only because he would benefit more from it. I think his character as that, because imagine this, we're going to see the feud happen. It's most likely going to be Doc and B-Fab against Montez and Bianca.
Oh, come here. Give me something across the screen right there. That's what I'm talking about.
At this point, if you have Doc beat Montez, not only because you just said it, Montez already has the rocket ready.
Yeah, they're ready.
You now strap a rocket to Doc's back too, and both of them get shot up rather than just one.
And then you have a career budding feud that, as long as they continue to elevate,
they will always have each other.
Yeah,
it's exactly like the Hardys. And every single time in the back of your mind, because remember, who was the Hardy that turned on the Brotherhood?
Yeah.
It wasn't Jeff.
Yeah,
it was Matt.
Yeah,
Matt is the one that turned into the attitude, the one that said, "I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
I can't take being your backseat.
Yeah.
I have my talent too." And then he went to ECW and won the championship.
That's also a good perspective to have on it, because by separating them on different brands over time, you can have them clash, interact, and also tease a reunion.
Absolutely.
That's where the money is.
But see, I think we're going to get this with the Wyatts going forward as the tag champions. I think we're going to get this with all of these tag teams that we've seen, including DIY, who's going to be next. Mello Don't Miss for sure is going to get broken up because of the Wyatts. And I'm going to assume this is all going to end with most likely the Motor City Machine Guns getting tested as well as the longest running team.
Yeah.
So all of these teams are going to get tested, and I think we're going to see a string of tag team breakups here coming up.
Does anybody know what happened to Pretty Deadly? Because they're pretty quiet.
They're on the next list, I think, of guys that are going to get cut, unfortunately. I think Ludwig Kaiser is on that list too, unless this El Grande thing really starts heating up.
Well, they got 3 of them.
And that's my problem, is it's a running gag, but all 3 of those men that are donning the mask right now.
Replaceable.
Exactly, including Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates.
Yeah.
So at this point with the WWE and having to pay all these big names that they have, all these smaller guys or mid-tier guys are going to start.
Unless they're willing to readjust their contract situation. A lot of guys are going to get let go. Pete Dunne right now is a producer for AAA and also Evolve. So I could see him sticking around in that capacity. But there are a lot of guys that are transitioning over to the backstage producer or storyboard writer role that, if you're wondering where they at, that's probably where they are, unless they're still hanging out and catering with Apollo Crews.
And that's what I'm saying. And at this point, you really can't justify keeping them on the roster when you need to bring in all these new talents.
Not when they have main roster contracts and you've got guys burning down the house in NXT for developmental deal money.
Absolutely. Next match that we have to talk about, John Cena and Logan Paul.
Banger.
Was an absolute banger. And I think it really showed that not only Logan takes his wrestling very seriously as a student of the game and knows how to do all of these moves that you're claiming he can't do.
Yeah.
But it's also, I think, a testament from John Cena to Logan Paul's character that you don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, you really need to just harness the fans.
I would definitely agree with you. And one thing that I did notice from just my personal observation over the years of watching John Cena do his thing, people will complain that John calls his matches a little too loudly. But I think this worked out in a way because John is a ring general. You're not going to go over everything backstage with John. You're going to hit the important parts.
Right.
But seeing as how Logan Paul always has this stigma of how his matches are so planned and so precise and he has to hit his spots, I think this showed everybody and gave Logan Paul some respect that he can do a match on the fly with one of the greats. An improvised match, calling the moves on the spot, no serious injuries, no serious botches. Everything went as aggressively and as fast and as well-paced for a match between those two competitors that you could absolutely hope for your product. You've got John Cena, the GOAT, the legend, greatest of all time, with this upstart who's been proving himself, who still considers himself an outsider via fan perspective, that really got in there and showed that he can go all the way with somebody like John Cena and pull out a decent match that honestly had me stuck to the screen. And there were certain parts where I was like, this is going to be slow or whatnot. But no.
There was never a point where that kind of died down.
It never dipped. And the crowd helped a lot.
Logan dipped into the entire bag of tricks. You saw him do a suplex where it was the delayed suplex for at least 5 to 10 seconds.
Did you see
Cena pulling out old matches or old moves from other wrestlers, which he said in the post game he's going to continue to do?
Which also kind of sucks because that means we're not going to get AJ Styles against John Cena.
No, did you guys see the move set that was also mentioned by Michael Cole of the Cesaro-esque moves?
Yep.
I think that's a great, just feather in the cap for Logan Paul. He has the build, the strength, and all those things that Cesaro really utilized quite easily.
They need to be careful about that, though, because he's already gotten a lot of heat from other wrestlers, namely Hangman Adam Page.
About that buckshot lariat. I'm going to keep it real. I think Logan Paul's a better wrestler than Hangman Adam Page.
Hey, Hangman's doing some dang good stuff in AEW right now.
Hey, you could staple bags of Cheetos to people's faces all you want, swallow the thumbtacks and poop out nails all day. That still don't make you a better wrestler. Adam Page is a great wrestler, but I'm going to keep it real. Logan Paul, man, he doing his thizzle, bro. Like, he's entertaining the fans, whether you love him or hate him. Super athletic, younger than Adam Page, and he got my money, man. And boy's
He's
balling right
he's a
now.
killer heel.
Yeah,
He really
super.
is.
He's one of the best bad guys I've seen in the last.
Well, he's
like,
a
5
natural heel. I mean,
years. You hate him.
And I hate to compare him to this, but it's like if you've been watching LFG, this entire BJ Ray guy is the exact same thing. You love to hate this guy just because of his personality.
I'll go one better for you. He has heat levels of I'd have to say young Mr. Perfect when he was pissing people off in the 90s.
I was thinking he reminded me more of when Triple H first came out.
That part, yeah,
the Hunter Hearst
he reminds you of the arrogant confidence of those guys from the 90s and early 2000s.
And Kurt Hennig was perfect at that.
Man, super good, man. So it's good to see that and the people working with Logan and as he's developing and you can tell he's got respect in the locker room.
I do want, before we go into the other stuff, I do want to mention, what do you think they're doing with, showing Uncle Howdy in different personalities?
I think he picked up more of the Karrion Kross antagonistic, fire starter role of breaking people up or making them question themselves. And I think it works great for him, honestly.
Well, how he came out and did the Bo Dallas before.
Do you kind of think that that's why they decided to not have such a serious take on bringing Karrion back?
Well, also
because they kind of had Bo Dallas already in the weight, saying we can kind of do the same thing with Bo.
And those things kind of been clashing and overlapping when you look at it throughout the year.
Right.
I can totally understand that. And if this Karrion thing isn't a work, then of course they had to make the logical decision business-wise and slide the Wyatts into that, mental, freaky, antagonistic role, which works out perfectly for him. So real talk, I think this is going to lead to an extended run, or if not an extended one, an entertaining run with those tag titles. Maybe we'll see a little bit more gold get brought into the Wyatt sick camp. But
it looks like we're finally going to get Nikki in a match sometime soon.
It's about time.
Finally,
it's about time, and
she's too good of a wrestler not to put in a ring. I don't understand why. I mean, maybe it's hurt. Maybe she's just not wanting.
I was wondering if it was like an injury or something.
I think she's been going back to school for her degree in psychology.
Yeah, because she does have a doctorate in that. She's working towards a doctorate.
Yeah, so hey, you never know. She could be an athletic psychologist and really help these wrestlers transition from hard points and high points and low points in their career, and I don't think that's something that WWE has yet.
I've heard so many good stories about Nikki Cross, too. Like, if we ever got to talk to her, I'd have to ask her, because from what I understand is she gets paid probably the least out of all the women on the main roster, but she still goes out of her way once a month to do an entire dinner or pizza party for the whole crew and bring everybody in, just so everybody gets a chance to meet each other and actually talk to each other. And it's like that. I don't think a lot of people really realize how far that goes in an industry where you have to travel with all these people all the time. And when new people constantly get cycled in and out and you don't know these people going in, you need that icebreaker moment to be able to really figure these people out and learn how to work with.
A very comfortable transition when leading into a new place of employment or environment of very competitive natures and energies.
Well, aside from the PLE Saturday, what do you think about Monday Morning Raw?
That was very interesting. It was a great match we had between Dragon Lee and Finn Balor. I mean, Dragon Lee's been putting on some great bangers.
He's been killing in AAA.
And just lately, the whole setup that we've been seeing for AJ Lee coming back to take on Becky Lynch, I'm very excited for.
Do you think we're going to get our first War Games?
She's not coming back.
She said she's not?
No, we had a listener text in and said he swears up and down that she's not coming back.
Does he know her personally?
Probably.
Does he hang out with
I don't
the
know.
CM
must live in Chicago.
He must live in Chicago and live down the street from him and talk to him all the time.
Look, man, we're going to find out Friday because they're in Chicago.
Yes.
So if she shows up to Chicago, or if there's any at all mention of her,
I think that's why it's all set up perfectly for her to come back.
Right.
Now, if they don't, let's just say that they don't, and that guy's right, and he's got a dead on fact knowing that she's not coming back. All right. Then who do we interject in this situation? Rhea Ripley?
Probably Rhea.
Come on, man.
Rhea's the biggest face. She makes the most sense helping out Jay. And
what she's doing right now with Asuka.
Yeah.
Well, at post show yesterday, she was seen coming out and celebrating with Jimmy, Jay, and LA Knight.
Okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's videos of all of them eating together in France. So
now.
And that's the other thing too that I gotta talk about, because Look, bro, I'm not the one who said it yesterday. Bronson Reed is, and I'm
Yeah.
not going to bring it up.
Hey, that was
That didn't even
hilarious.
land. That made no sense. I was like, what? Like that? If it was Jimmy, that line would have worked.
Yeah.
That's not the point I'm going to get to, though. We saw it build up in the pre-show of Clash in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
There is a feud coming between LA Knight and Jimmy Uso.
Yeah.
110%.
Oh,
I
you mean,
think we're going to
Jay.
get, I'm sorry, yeah, Jay Uso. I think we're finally going to get LA Knight as a heel.
Oh,
Because we're starting to see the attitude, much like we saw in TNA with the dummy button and all this other stuff.
I'm going to keep it real. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think that this could potentially be the feud to finally put these two back up at the top and get LA his belt?
Well, between Yeet and there's going to be some kind of clash.
Well, he mentioned it during his interview in the pre-show. That's what I texted Sparky.
Either way, I think it's going to benefit LA Knight, especially because they're giving him more, just wrestle time on television. One thing that, I've seen some rumors about people suspecting that him joining the Vision, which made absolutely no sense to me. But one thing that did surprise me that I knew I should have seen coming, we all should have seen it coming, was Becky joining and helping out.
Oh, we talked about that weeks ago.
Just little
if there was a
sprinkles.
female that was going to come in, we knew
it would have been her.
Becky.
But for some reason, it slipped everybody's whole visual radar of thinking that was a possibility. We were rooting for Tony D'Angelo. He was also in France.
I need that to happen.
Yeah, they're cooking something up with him, most definitely. And I would have to really just circle back to these PLEs that we're starting to get now. That was the last PLE on Peacock
for WWE.
Yes.
NXT PLEs will be staying.
Okay, so we've got WrestlePalooza coming up, which is one hell of a card that they are cooking up right now with rumors of Brock Lesnar, John Cena. Who else we got? We got
the Stephanie and EO match, which was announced last night.
Yeah, we possibly.
I'm not going to lie. I know I said this last week that normally they don't give it to the young gun the first time around, but this match for some reason makes me believe they might.
Possibly, man. And the card that they're cooking up is, they're saying, going to be more. We're used to these 5-match PLEs. They're talking about 8 matches just so they can counter program AEW's pay-per-view that's going on the same day. So either way, hey, it works out all the way for us wrestling fans, because you can never have too much wrestling on a weekend.
Before we let you go, because we are out of time, do you think this could potentially be the first ever War Games match where we get mixed match? We get Becky and AJ in on this as well.
No, but I do think that we might get a women's War Games match
in which they have their own teams.
Yeah, something like that.
An all Vision female team.
The Vision
who's going to be on Becky's 5?
Oh, man.
I don't think Becky's got 5 friends to call.
Yeah. Well, you could find heels with similar interest.
Even though Lyra Valkyria came back yesterday for the first time I've seen in a long time with more attitude than I've ever seen from her. Apparently, she's now the angry one as well, much like Bayley.
I could see her joining up with Becky because of their previous feuds, relationship, mentor, student.
Nia over there with Solo.
Oh yeah. Hey, we could. No, they're talking about introducing a female member to the MFTs, and no other person would fit other than Nia Jax.
Nah, bring in P Nasty from LFG.
I was gonna say, there's also the big girl that's been with
shout out to P Nasty.
The girls that's been rolling with the Usos. I can't remember her name off.
Jada Parker.
Is that what it is?
Jada Parker is another one, but I think she's got to win that that NXT women's title before
or North American something. She's got to get some.
I would definitely see Nia with MFT.
Somebody got to rip that title off JC Jane, but we'll get to that in our special episodes on YouTube. We are out of time. My friend, thank you so much for your time, even though you got wrapped up in traffic. And
it's all right. We'll see you guys at Village Fest this weekend.
Who'd you lose the bet to?
I gotta know. Don't worry about it, man. I just look good. I just look good in this crap.
I don't know.
Hey, take it in. Take it in.
Hey, at least you didn't have to wear it at Village Fest.
Hey.
At least you didn't have to wear it at Village Fest.
And
that's all it is.
Yeah, I might have to wear a Cincinnati Bengals jersey though on my 10-year radio anniversary party going down at Riley's this week.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who did you lose? What game did you lose on?
We will talk about this later because that bet is still standing, and we'll have to see how this develops. Hey, football season is back,
brother. Before you start making football bets, you need to start calling us or calling our guy Bull Brady because no. You keep losing.
Yes, hey, it's a throwback.
I get you.
It's
That's
throwback,
fine.
you
That's
know?
fine. But
Now, if it was what can I say, a Falcons jersey or something.
oh, now we're gonna throw shade.
Yeah, no. It would. I would
I'm
wear. I would wear.
defending
I would wear.
you.
I would wear a Deion
You know what?
Sanders.
No, now I hope you lose.
I would wear a
hope
Deion
you-
Sanders Falcons jersey.
No, I hope you lose.
I
and you have to wear one of those ugly Seahawks jerseys. That's what I hope.
not the sea biscuits.
That's
man.
all it is.
Come on,
We gotta take a break, pay some
have
bills.
mercy.
This is the early bird special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on 101.1 FM, 12:30 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield, as well as streaming live video wise on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, all that good stuff. Go join us, follow us, share with your friends, all that good stuff. We are the only live sports show here in the mornings in the Kern County area. Plus, we talk everything national, college, all that type of stuff. We leave the local stuff to the best in the biz. That is Greg Kerr. You can listen to him right here on ESPN Bakersfield later this afternoon. But let's switch over to the NFL because week 1 is upon us. The first game of the NFL season is this Thursday. The Dallas Cowboys at the champion Eagles. And at this point right now, I don't think a lot of people are really expecting much from the Dallas Cowboys after this entire Micah Parsons situation. But the one thing I had to highlight that happened over the weekend, and Adam Schefter talked about this at length yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, and it makes a lot of sense. But the Cowboys, well, since they couldn't pay Micah Parsons, decided to pay somebody else and went and signed Deron Bland to a long-term contract. Most likely you'll see other players picking up some money as well here in Dallas. Do you think that's a good look, bad look for the team? First off.
It's a better look. I mean, it's not what we're used to.
Right.
I still think Dallas is not going to be as bad as everyone expects, but we'll see. I mean, week 1, well, and also a thing is a lot of these great teams usually start out a little slow. I mean, we saw it in Kansas City last year. We see it all
Every
the
year
time with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the game is a lot closer on Thursday. I still think the Eagles pull it out. But I overall with the question, I think Dallas is going to be spending. And I wouldn't be surprised if in the next month we see Dallas start bringing in some veteran players, or, maybe we see a surprise trade in the next month.
Jerry's already kind of talked about that. He says there's nothing that says they don't use those picks they got right now and go get somebody. At this point, though, Philly is a 7.5 point favorite over the Cowboys. They are at home. I don't know if this game's going to be ugly because, again, I am very curious to see what Eagles team we get come out of this. Because when a team wins a Super Bowl, traditionally the players the next year don't come with that same hunger. They don't come with that same energy. And we saw a ridiculous stretch from this Philadelphia team last year. Ridiculous stretch of wins. What did it actually get up to? Like 14 straight? Something of that nature, including the playoffs. I don't know if you see that same stretch here at the beginning of the year. I really don't.
I mean, it's one of those things that usually they start off slow. And I wouldn't be surprised if this game is a lot closer. But to put a spin on that, I mean, even the Micah injury that was deep in this over the weekend, where he's talking about needing to have a shot before the game, and that the injury is a lot more deeper than we expected. But he was able to pass the physical to get the trade official.
Oh, they're gonna bet they're gonna
do
anything they can to make sure he passes that physical.
Do you think it is gonna be a tougher season for him?
No.
To be 100%?
No, because again, I think that much like you just said, this happens in football, and this is something that they're just used to going into it. There's rarely a time where these guys play 100% healthy
at all.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's going to be a bad stretch for him at this point. For Micah, at any point in time, if you hit double-digit sacks for this team, that's
a win.
That's a win. Yeah, that's a win for them. So I don't think necessarily that this is going to be one of those seasons where we look at it and say, "Oh, where was Micah Parsons?" I think Micah's going to be a game changer for this Packers defense. I really do. I don't expect him to play in game 1 though, because listening to Schefter yesterday, I don't think LaFleur really plans on him playing in game 1. And that's not because he's not ready to, but I think they're just going to give him some time to really figure out this defense before really turning him in and really putting him out there. I think a lot of teams kind of need to start doing that too, because granted, yeah, you make an acquisition like this, you want him on the field right away. But you also have to take into account that these are new terrains for him. This is a whole new system, a whole new defense. He's going to have to learn it in time that he has none of. This trade happened days before the first game. Like,
you put him on a snap count or just not play at all?
I just say don't have him play at all. I say let him sit, especially with this injury. Let him sit week 1, figure out the playbook. Because again, all these other guys are going out already knowing the playbook like the back of their hand. They had all of training camp, all of mini camp. They had all that already. Micah has none of it. He's had one practice. I mean, he barely figured out what number he's going to wear. So I say your first game with him, at least, let it be a wash. Let's lean on the team that you knew you were going to have coming into this. You're at home against the Detroit Lions, who everybody is still kind of curious to see what Lions team we get now that they lost all the coaches that they lost this last year. So maybe this is a better idea to just go in with the team you already planned on going in with, the starters that you already planned on going in with, out minus Kenny Clark, because Kenny Clark was going to be a part of that game plan. And let Micah figure out the defense before you throw him out there. I know it's blasphemy. I know everybody is saying, what are you talking about? How can you not play Micah Parsons? And again, in any other situation, I'd say you're right. But in this one, when he had literally no time to figure out how to actually play the position he's about to play, let's give him a sec. Unless you legitimately just plan on putting him on the line and say, go at the quarterback every single play. We'll figure out the rest.
That's why I could see him put him in some blitz packages.
Maybe. But honestly, unless you simplify it to that point where literally the only time he's on the field is he's coming at the quarterback.
Oh, because he's going to be the highlight of the game. I mean,
Right.
A lot of people are going to be, where's Micah? Where's Micah? The whole damn game.
Well, they're going to do that anyway. It's Micah Parsons.
Exactly.
But
I'm
that's
just
why
talking about
I
the
think you're
announcers,
right.
not the actual teams they're playing against.
Oh, no, 100%. And I think you're right. I think if Green Bay has any time to figure this out, maybe they do. They make up some packages where they can make it easy for them and say, hey, we're not going to really rely on you for coverage packages in game 1. But that also is a massive tell, though, when you're going against another team. Because if they figure out that the only time Micah's on the field is when you're blitzing, that's an instant tell for any NFL offense to be able to exploit. So it really just depends on how confident they feel on that being a viable option for them. I personally agree. Like it seems dumb saying it out loud to not play Micah Parsons in the first game, but genuinely, I'm sitting here thinking about it, and strategically, I kind of see that it might work out better if you just don't. You've already been planning this entire time and preseason going into this with the roster you had. You won't exactly take a step back by not playing Micah.
And they're playing the Detroit Lions. So
Yeah, which again, we love to say the Detroit Lions are going to come back and be the team that we saw last year. But without Ben Johnson, without their defensive coordinator, and without all of the other guys that they had underneath them, it's going to be a brand new team no matter who's the head coach. So I hope and pray that Campbell can turn this around, but jury's still out. We'll figure it out as we go here on Sunday. Let's take a break real quick, pay some bills. We'll run down some of these other games as well and get our thoughts on them. This is the Early Bird Special right here on 101.1 FM, 1230 AM, ESPN Bakersfield. Welcome back. Final segment of the show. Join us back here tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m. As always, early bird special right here on 101.1 FM, 12 a.m. ESPN Bakersfield, as well as streaming online video-wise at Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitch.
Tomorrow we'll sit down with Rob Chavez and Kenny Calvin from the BC Renegades after they pulled out a road win this last weekend. We'll recap that. Plus, we'll preview the home season opener right here.
Thursday, we'll have our guy Bolt Brady come back with his week 1 pick in the NFL for you, as well as our friend Andrew Boydston joining us early before he has to go and teach your kids. We'll hear about their upcoming comedy shows and whatnot. And plus, I'd love to hear what his thoughts are on his Colts going into week 1, now with Daniel Jones at the helm.
Against my Dolphins.
It's going to be a hell of a game, man. It's going to be a great week 1, I think, in the NFL. We got a lot of great games really going down the pike. We'll see if the Cincinnati Bengals can get off to the right start, going 1-0 against the Cleveland Browns. You got the early matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills Sunday night. It's going to be a great, great weekend of football. I cannot wait. But we got some text messages to get to. So what we got?
This one says, good morning, guys.
Good
Worth
morning.
mentioning that I bumped into Adam Sandler yesterday in Malibu, and I mentioned I hope to see Derrick Henry in his next movie.
Yes, 100%. And I keep seeing that get brought up. I mean, I think Dan Patrick was the one who actually got him to talk about it and said that Dan was the one who actually said if he reaches 2,000 yards, he'll get it to happen. I'd love to see Derrick Henry as the new water boy. I'd love to see that. If he comes back to coach and Derrick Henry's the new water boy as the running back, would be fantastic.
So all he's got to do is rush for 2,000 yards.
We'll see it. I'm telling you.
But I did. I hope he did, because I pulled him a couple drafts. But I did ask him, how was he? How was the meet? And he said he was a gentleman, dressed like he was going to bed. And he said we were in the bathroom at a restaurant, so I didn't want to ask him
too much
for a picture or anything. But I appreciate the small banter we had.
Honestly, he seems like a really chill dude, and anytime you see him out in public, he's dressed exactly the way that I would want to be dressed, just in basketball shorts and a t-shirt.
Yes.
Living your best life, man. If you don't have to be dressed up, why do I need to be? Enjoy your life.
And other NFL notes. I know Najee Harris has been cleared. He's back at practice for the first time.
Fantastic. Although for those of you who drafted Omarion Hampton that's not a very good look, because that means you're splitting carries this weekend.
And Matt Stafford is back and ready to start week 1 for the Rams against the Texans.
As the Rams said that he would be, we are still going to be watching that injury, though, because a back is nothing to shy off just shy off at. And to be honest with you, when you go and get an epidural, there's obviously something wrong with you. So I'm hoping that it's healed by now. He's had plenty of time to get it, sought at, or at least massaged and figured out. But we'll see on Sunday as the Rams try to go up and get 1-0 or go 1-0 as a lot of these other teams are. I got a couple in the YouTube chat as well. AJ Lee Friday night in Chicago, says Tommy Guns. I swear if it does not happen, the fans will riot.
I could see it happening.
I could see it happening. To be honest with you, fans have been begging for this since he came back. I think she hasn't necessarily shut the door on wrestling altogether, although I think she is on the cusp of just saying I'm retired. But I mean, we got Nikki Bella back, and at this point, anything is better than Nikki Bella. Jaime also chimes in saying, shade the Falcons. The last 10 games, Falcons are up on the Niners 6-4. And the last time they played, Marcus Mariota put hands and feet on them. I'm aware of that, fully aware of that. That's not what I meant. The shade to the Falcons was more as Mr. Kimball was saying that he would rather wear that Rams jersey than an ugly Falcons jersey. He never said ugly, but that was the tone of voice he was using. And I'm telling you right now, there is nothing cleaner than a black and red Falcon jersey.
I was just going to say, I'm not a Falcons fan, but I would sport one of those black and red ones.
I will sport it every day. You know what?
I like the red helmet.
Starting this season, I think, especially since we're on video, I'm going to start sporting a little bit more of the jerseys that I have, because I may not have much, but I have a handful of them in there that are all beautiful to look at in red, white, black, don't matter.
I got to get one of those
jerseys, baby.
I got to get one of those black rivalry jerseys from the Dolphins.
Oh, I know. Well, are they actually black for you guys? Yeah. Or is that just like a dark, like a
black
teal?
With the orange?
Ah, okay. Like, because I'm telling you, those rivalry jerseys that they launched all look fantastic.
I like that. I don't like the only one I didn't like was obviously the Bills all white.
See, I think that looks
don't like 'em.
clean. That looks so nice.
I just hope it's dirty by the end of
And
that
I
game.
hope, well, obviously you would. I think the football players hope it's dirty by the end of the game as well. But could you imagine playing football in the snow in those though? Like we're talking about the Smurf turf in Boise. You wouldn't be able to see
Try
a
to find
dang
someone.
thing. The other one that I'm kind of curious about though, because I need to see it in actual light first. Arizona. The sand is a cool idea, but if executed poorly, these jerseys could look ugly as sin. The only thing that made it look really cool was the helmets for them, all white, and the logo is actually a fade out with a red outline. It looks very, very clean, but I need to see what those jerseys look like. All of them, though, I mean, as a Falcons fan, I'm excited. I hope that we get the next nod next year. I'm not sure if they've announced if we're going to continue this next year, but
yeah, they're going to do it for the next 4 years. They just haven't announced what division's next.
see, I hope it's the South, but I mean, I doubt it. Knowing how this goes, I'm sure the AFC and NFC Souths will probably be the last year that get them, but at this point, they've all looked pretty dang clean, in my opinion. I need to go buy my own.
And Venus.
Did Venus win?
Yes.
Fantastic.
The doubles. They're in
Well,
they're in the final 8, I believe.
I saw Naomi Osaka and Coco went at it yesterday. I didn't get to watch a lot of it. I mean, it was done before I could even get to it, to be honest with you.
Venus mentioned she said Serena's been helping her a lot, but she hopes that Serena can make it in person for the final matches.
Telling you, we need to pull Serena to the court.
Talking.
If we can, I swear, Venus gets to the final. Long shot, I realize. Huge long shot. But if Venus gets to the finals in doubles and fails, would that not be a motivating factor for Serena to say, you know what, if I was your partner, we would have won? And I think in the back of her mind as a competitor, Serena would sit there and say, if I was out there with my sister right now, this match would be over.
Yeah.
We would have won by now. What is going on? This girl they're playing with is not like up to par.
Her and Layla have been killing it though.
I know, but I'm just saying in general, like,
of course,
I
everyone wants to see Serena and
gotta pull her back in. We gotta pull her back in, baby. That's all I'm saying. I think we can do this.
Did the Phillies pull out that win last night?
No.
Okay.
They lost yesterday to the Braves. No.
I know it was a
No, I'm sorry.
game.
No, we were playing the Brewers. Yes, they beat the Brewers yesterday.
I
was
when I
thinking
left
Sunday.
here, it was 8-8 or something.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
ended up winning 10-8 yesterday in gritty fashion. Schwarber is still kind of cold though, even though he had the 4 home run game the other day. Philly though, holding on to that number 2 seed in the NL right now by a hair. And I'm telling you right now, I've said it on the Ralph Bailey show. I haven't been able to talk to it much on this show. We'll get to it tomorrow when we run down the MLB playoffs, or at least the playoff picture, I should say. Philly wants that number 2 spot. Because if you got to face the Mets first round in a best of 3, oh, you might be in trouble, especially with as cold as the bats have been lately.
And it's looking like the Mariners are going to probably play the Astros.
That is one you want, though.
Yep, I'll take it.
If you're in the best of 3 series, I always say the wild card team is actually the team that's more favorable. We got to get out of here for the day, though. Thank you for joining us. Join us back here tomorrow, 7 to 9, as always. And go follow us on all social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. We're all over the place. Just look up the Early Bird Special and the Early Bird Special Official. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9. Sparky, let's get out of here.